All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Back at it already. It is only Monday, right? Shout out to everybody who will be and are joining me for this brief live stream. I won't keep it too long. Deanna, Ashar, We Hate Dogs, Mr. Payne, Mutt Slayer. Man, that's like the best name on YouTube. There was a breaking news. If you simply Google dog attack, go to news and filter it for the past 24 hours, you'll see that there are several reports on this case. A 1-year-old was mauled by a pit bull, and the baby is in critical condition. Now, it's sad. It's very sad for a bunch of people like us to sit around talking about how hazardous and dangerous it is for these things to be in our community. And as we talk and have these discussions, to see stories like this emerge. And it really makes lawmakers, law enforcers look very bad. This is shameful, very shameful. Now let's check out one of the news reports on this case.
The baby cannot breathe on his own. He's fighting for his life.
A baby boy is in critical condition tonight after his grandmother says he was viciously attacked by a neighbor's dog in Spencer this afternoon. News 9's Hunter McKee was on the scene from the very beginning. He's live at OU Health tonight with an update.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're told that child is here right now fighting for his life tonight. Those who live on that street told me they were left in complete shock.
These dogs attack?
Here we go. Like clockwork, man. Like clockwork. It is no attack. Excuse me. There is no shock. There is no confusion. You allow these things into the community. Anybody can own them. This particular person, I believe, had up to 5 pit bulls in one house. No fence. We all know that there are dogs everywhere in our communities. What are you shocked about? They're shocked. We're sitting back looking at our watch, waiting for the next story like this to pop up. These people got to get with the program, man. Doesn't it seem like that the majority of the population is asleep, almost unconscious? They are not locked in to the real world. Am I on mute? Crazy stuff.
Him. We're trying to rip him to shreds.
What began as any other Sunday for one Spencer family turned into a nightmare. Family of 1-year-old J.J. Rodriguez tell me he was playing outside this afternoon with his siblings when he was attacked by a dog.
When officers arrived,
Playing outside, once again, we have an unprovoked attack. That is to all you dog behaviorists, all you veterinarians who, when you want to talk about how to prevent dogs from attacking kids, all you want to talk about is the misbehavior of the kids, when this, just like all of the other attacks that I've reported on the child, the baby in this case, never provokes these things. Dogs are never provoked. They see a baby, they see a child, they see a vulnerable, weak target, and they attack. story after story proves their rhetoric to be false. When we talk about how to prevent dog attacks on kids, only thing we need to talk about is banning these things and keeping them out of our communities. Stop playing dumb. And it's a shame to see so many lawmakers, politicians, police officers sitting around scratching their head like, oh, I just can't figure it out. Man.
They found the child back behind the house back there, had been mauled by a Pitbull type dog.
The 1-year-old boy was transported to OU Children's Hospital in Oklahoma City and is listed in critical condition.
Now, doesn't it seem like with every attack, it's a pit bull type dog? Yet these people want to sit here and tell us that pit bulls are not any more dangerous than any other dog. It's like every single case, it's a bully breed. And these people just get away with murder after murder, mauling after mauling. And as always, there's no discussion about banning these things. It's just, oh, so unfortunate. Oh, so sad. Our hearts go out. Our prayers go out. That type of brain dead zombie behavior has to stop, man. People acting like their brains just don't work.
JJ's grandmother tells me something like this should have never happened.
I talked to my son-in-law, and he said, Delphina, he's never going to be the same again. What does that tell you? What does that?
What? She said something like this should have never happened. I agree. What should we, the adults, have done to prevent it from happening? There's only one thing that we can do, and that is to not allow these things in our society. Do you notice how people always point out things like this, that something like this should have never happened? Nobody deserves to go through something like this. But they never talk about the obvious way to prevent it from happening again in the future. It's not by giving these people heavier fines. These people here, in this case, had several citations letting their mutts run around off leash. That's the only solution, is to make these things illegal to own.
What does that tell you?
We're told by those on scene the dog was taken away and did not have his rabies shots. Investigators say the family...
Okay, we in America. This worthless mutt didn't even have rabies shots. Okay, listen to this.
Who owns the dog had received citations before. Seen the dog was taken away and did not have his rabies shots. Investigators say the family who owns the dog had received citations before for dogs running loose.
Neighbors have complained a lot about the dogs running loose. They've got up to 5 pit bulls in the house, and
somebody with 5 pit bulls, several citations, several complaints, and nothing was done. This means that the community needs to step up and take the threat of dogs more serious than they currently do. Right now, these people have this Scooby-Doo, this big red dog type of mentality when it comes to dogs. You gotta get this idea that dogs belong in our society out of your head. That's the first thing we have to do. Change our perception on how we view these things. They're killers, and they prefer to kill 1-year-old babies, toddlers, kids. And that should make them the biggest threat and enemy to our communities, not our best friends. And stop all this man's best friend. We need to check everybody who lets that out of their mouth.
been very, very dangerous.
I spoke to a Spencer City Councilwoman who says they've also received several complaints of loose dogs on this street before. One neighbor says she was home at the time and heard a commotion. She says when they realized the child was being attacked, her boyfriend stepped in to try and help.
At that point,
Man, the councilwoman was aware of the complaints. The city councilwoman. And nothing was done. People, this means, and according to the Constitution, the people themselves have to step up. If you see pit bulls run around your community off leash, people, at that point, they're breaking the law and they're endangering the entire community. And we are free and encouraged to neutralize the threat.
I just remember looking over and the baby was, in my dad's arms and he wasn't breathing.
We're scared, we're praying, we're hopeful, we need as much.
These cowardly mutants. Who attacks a 1-year-old? Who starts stabbing a 1-year-old? That's what these things do. Start stabbing babies, stabbing toddlers. Why? How could there possibly be laws that pretty much create the conditions for this to happen? Again, totally unprovoked. Totally unprovoked. When we talk about how to prevent dog attacks on kids, I don't want to hear nothing about the children's behavior. Ever. This is the only place you're going to get the truth. On anti-dog platforms. How sickening is this? And it's a simple solution. It's not rocket science, nothing sophisticated. Ban them. Are you so dumb, people, that you don't even ban bully breeds? You are a sick population of people. This is why I don't understand how people can not say anything against dog culture and proclaim to be a patriot, a proud American. These people deserve a slap. It's usually these people who talk about being a proud American that own dogs, own these vicious dogs as well. That's not patriotism at all. You are anti-American.
Prayers out there.
And investigators say they are still looking into this case right now. The person who owns the dog actually did reach out to us tonight and says their prayers are with the child and that this dog had never attacked a person prior to this. Live in Northeast Oklahoma City.
Of course. Y'all notice how with every case, every attack strengthens our argument. It strengthens our narrative. Once again, you have a dog that, according to the owner, had never attacked anyone before. But when you talk about how dangerous it is to have these things in the community, first thing they want to say is that, oh, it's never attacked anyone. How many times have we gone over this? And proven. How many times does this have to be proven? That the dog, having never attacked anyone before, does not mean that the dog is safe or that it won't attack anyone in the future. We are at the point, we are past the point now where dogs are a safety hazard, whether or not they've attacked anyone in the past. They need to be neutralized so that they do not attack anyone in the future. It is that simple. It is that simple. It's sad to see us, citizens, everyday people, light years more intelligent than the lawmakers. It's sad. Somebody left a comment. I think it was maybe Beanie Girl left a real good comment on my most recent live stream. I think she said that it's a shame that total strangers care more about these dog nutters kids than the parents of those kids do. What we do here, what others do on other anti-dog platforms, we're showing far more concern for the children of the dog nutters than the dog nutters are. You know that something is wrong when that happens. Now, this is a different news outlet. Let's hear what they had to say about this case. Again, I think this happened less than 24 hours ago.
It says that young child was in the backyard on Darrell Lane and Spencer playing when apparently that dog, without warning, attacked.
We're getting conflicting stories about exactly what happened. We're trying to figure it out right now.
Oh, but there's always a warning, right? People, keep in mind, they are removing Pitbull bans based on this rhetoric that has come out recently. There's always a warning. Dogs always show signs. There is no difference between pit bulls and other dogs. They are no more dangerous than any other dogs. Yet with virtually every case, you hear the same thing. It attacked out the blue. There was no warning. The implementation of pit bull bans should be a lot easier, and it should happen a lot swifter than they are being removed. They're being removed for nothing but babble, rubbish that can't be substantiated by facts.
Warning, attacked.
We're getting conflicting stories about exactly what happened. We're trying to figure it out right now. But it appears that a neighbor child had been attacked by this dog.
Aaron Brilbeck, spokesman for the sheriff's office, says the dog's owner has been cited for issues with their pets before.
This family has received several citations regarding dogs running loose. Neighbors have complained a lot about the dogs running loose.
The kids have always came and said, like, hey, the dogs, they try chasing after us on the bikes and all kinds of stuff.
One neighbor is saying her own...
Nah, man, how sad is that? Did y'all hear what she said? Did y'all hear what this lady said?
Kids have always came and said, like, hey, the dogs, they try chasing after us on the bikes and all kinds of stuff.
Kids terrified. Terrified. Kids telling their mothers, telling their fathers, hey, dogs are attacking us. Protect us. We're scared to ride our bikes. We're scared to play outside. We're scared to walk through the neighborhood. Protect us. And we stand around like imbeciles, talking about how each dog has its own personal character and personality. We stand around, never even having a discussion of not allowing these things in our communities. Things like this. This is why children grow up to hate their parents. Y'all notice how a lot of kids, they grow up and they hate their parents, and the kids themselves can't even explain why. They're just hostile. Hostile. In my opinion, it's because of things like this. When people create, they don't allow, they create a hazardous environment for their youth to live in. And with the statistics telling us that dogs attack kids over 50% of the time, that they usually attack kids, there's nothing more that we need to know. That's all we need to know. Yet we continue to make more and more movies. I just saw another movie out that recently was released. I think it's titled Puppies. a movie titled Puppies. The more dogs attack kids and babies, the more movies they make glorifying them, projecting them as harmless angels sent from heaven.
One neighbor is saying her own kids have had to avoid that same dog. Shiloh Mommy was within earshot when the attack happened.
Well, I heard the dogs outside. I mean, it didn't sound normal, and I thought they honestly were getting into a fight with, another dog.
Her boyfriend stepped in to get that dog off the young child who had already been seriously injured.
Bunch of idiots. It's embarrassing. Look at these police officers. Look at these cops. Probably dog owners themselves. Do you really have the natural instinct and character to protect the public? To protect the weak? If you're not having this discussion, no. You probably think you look all macho and manly. But you're a sissy if you don't speak out against this safety hazard. It would be bad enough, people. Think about it. It would be bad enough if these dogs only attacked adults. It would still be outrageous. But the fact that they usually and prefer to attack kids and babies, are you out of your mind? Calling this man's best friend? Remove dogs from the picture. What else would have mauled and torn a 1-year-old to shreds? Nothing. These are mutant, demonic creatures that have to go.
Already been seriously injured by the canine.
He's such a sweet, innocent little, about this tall. And he's a cute little kid. He's an innocent child. He didn't deserve that.
There are laws in Oklahoma where dogs have to be under control at all times. Clearly,
laws in Oklahoma that dogs have to be under control at all times. Listen, you cannot enforce that. And the consequences that the community suffers if these people cannot have a dog under control is too great for us to take the chance. Do you understand that? First of all, even if there is an adult with the dog on a leash, you're talking about a powerful bully breed, big, powerful dog that can still break free, break the leash, drag its owner to the victim. You don't leave it in the hands of the general public to try to physically control something like this, man. This is as stupid as saying that people need to have their African lion under control at all times. It's no different. Many of us, we're fooled. We are fooled by the fact that dogs are much smaller than lions. They're smaller, but they're more powerful than most humans. Dog that's 70, 80 pounds can drag a man who's some 200 pounds. Man, this is a shame. This is a shame, man. All these adults, lawmakers, law enforcers, acting all goofy and confused. Like they just don't understand.
this dog hasn't been under control. Clearly, this family has had issues in the past where they've been cited for not controlling their dog, and this is the result.
Oh, what do you mean? He said this family has been cited in the past for not having their dogs under control, and this is the result. This is the result of what? The citations? Yeah, this is the result of multiple citations. They don't do nothing. Why do you continue to push citations as a solution, when it's proven time and time again it doesn't work. People don't care about no citation. They're going to continue to let their dogs roam free. And even if they don't allow them to roam free, their dogs are going to continue to break free and jump over even 10-foot tall fences. So what now, Mr. Lawmaker, Mr. American? What are you going to do now to protect your kids? You're like a filthy beast yourself. Any group of people who refuse to protect their babies and kids, you are less than human. You are less than human. You are a filthy animal yourself. And the crazy thing is, they don't care. They don't care at all. And why would a filthy animal care anyways? It is fitting.
And Mecca, as you mentioned, that one-year-old boy still in the hospital in critical condition. As the investigation continues, the sheriff's office says that dog did not have a rabies shot and will be put down. Reporting live in Oklahoma City, I'm Andy Weber, KOCO.
Man, you pathetic, spineless cowards. All you so-called men, you lawmakers, you pathetic, spineless cowards. How dare you? How dare you create the conditions for a one-year-old to be repeatedly stabbed to death? That's all this is. That's all dog lovers do. They knowingly create the conditions for infants, babies, one-year-olds to be stabbed and tortured to death. Filthy beast, man. These people, yes, these are absolute beasts. So we knew that it was only a matter of time before yet another horrific story like this surfaced. And now we wait for the next. Say, and you know how hard it is? Somebody said they live in a condo and over half the units have dogs. It's like living in a kennel with all the noise and filth. Y'all know how hard it is, at least where I am, to find a no dogs allowed apartment complex. I've been looking. You can't find them. Most people are not willing to do that. They know they're going to miss out on a bunch of money. They're going to turn away a lot of potential renters. But it's very hard to find an apartment complex where no dogs are allowed. And that's the thing, when you purchase a home, you got these dog owners who don't have fences and who just let their dogs roam off leash. That should, man, we should not tolerate that. We cannot tolerate that. And you know what? I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about it. I'm going to reflect on the fact that our movement is growing and is going to continue to grow and have a very low turnover rate. Once people hear the truth, they're not going to go back to being a dog nut. I uploaded a video in the members area, and I talked about how these dog lovers create the conditions for these types of attacks to happen. They would create the conditions for these attacks to happen even if they followed all the steps that is suggested. You know how they tell the dog owners to always make the dog eat after you eat, right? Make sure you eat first. They tell you don't let your dog on the sofa with you. They tell you don't allow the dog to walk ahead of you. Even if they did all of this, dogs would still attack. But we live in a world where the majority of dog lovers do all of these things that their own professionals tell them increases the chances of an attack. The way they deal with and handle these things maximizes the possibility that attacks like this will happen. We need to be very conscious of this and view these people as serious threats to our communities. And I'm telling you, once you get that in your head, defending the community is going to come natural. I refuse to be terrorized in my own home, in my own community. And let me tell you something. I have not seen that dog yet, that dog that attacked me. And I think it is due to the pressure I put on them, filing the report and pulling out my gun as soon as it happened. Most dog nuts don't expect that. They don't expect you to file police reports, to complain to the apartment complex, to call the dog warden, to pull out a gun and be ready. We have to let these people know that we're serious. They have to know that there are people in the community who are not going to tolerate them trying to bully and intimidate the community. That is all these people do. They get these mutants because they know these things are weapons, and they get off on seeing people terrorized. They get off on it. And their time in the sun is over. Big shout out to everybody who was able to join me for this short live stream. And I will see you all on the next as we continue with this crusade against these worthless mutants and their enabling owners.